Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let's see if we can finish this today. Who knows? We're here. It's a lot, but if you know a Zoid, the legs are going to be tedious because it's going to be four of the technically 2 and 2 because it's not technically 4 of the same thing because you have 2 front, 2 hind, and yeah, because I'm trying to think if any of them. No, I think they're pretty good anatomically that I think they make sure that they're always going to be 2 front, 2 hind. So it's going to look like power legs and lead legs in a sense. But let me go ahead and shuffle music. Make sure that loops. See what audio level looks like. Probably turn it down a little bit. Partially for me too. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, I know exactly which song this is, especially with the title. All right. So, today's legs. So, let's see. Yeah. Times 2, times 4. Yay, we're into these steps. All right, so we need G. 4 of those. This is the part that is, like, I love building things, but it's a little bit much with this tedium. I feel like they've changed out the material for the PC sprue. It's a little bit more, like, rubbery. Alright, and then D. Let's see, 26 and 28. Okay, that makes sense. And I did find the piece that I lost last time. So that's good. Do this. Yeah, there we go. And it wasn't too bad. I didn't have to glue anything because it stays together just enough. So I don't want to toy with it and make it worse. It kind of holds itself together without glue, so I'll deal with that like that. It's better if I don't have to glue it. I don't prefer to glue things if I can avoid it. Alright, 26. Amusing that I talk about getting into steps that are 2 and 4 times and immediately first step is that. I'm like, oh, yeah. Exactly what I meant. So serene. I mean, I know why, and if you've watched the anime, you would know why, but no spoilers, that's rude. I want you to watch it, I don't want to spoil it. This is, I believe, it says Chaotic Sentry, but I feel like this would be Guardian Force. Because they show up who this is for in Chaotic Sentry, but I don't think they have that music yet. But I could be wrong. I love how so many of these are just nondescript, not titled. Pretty sure they all have titles. It's just whoever put this playlist together didn't actually give them their titles. At least some of them. Funky jazz bass line. Actually works leaving it like that. That one, not so much. Alright. Try to do this without hunching over too much and breaking my back. I didn't do this initially because of my back pain. Let's not bring it back. But I'm bummed. It's terrible and I'm not proud of myself. Alright. Yeah, you know, that just kind of looks like battle damage. I'm going to leave that there. Probably going to look better like that than if I try to do anything with it. So that's kind of my logic. Alright. So now we need to do these. It's going to be the football joint is my guess. Seems to make the most sense. No. Need you to be accessible, please. Thank you. No. So this is the good and bad of doing these, is they're annoying, but they can kind of go quickly because you're just repeating the same step. So you're sanding down the same thing so you know exactly where to sand every time, or if you need to sand it. I probably oversand, I don't know. But everything is sequential, so it's good and bad because it's quicker, but at the same time it's a little bit more monotonous, which is not as enjoyable. But I don't know if I've built a Zoid that doesn't have at least some semblance of repetition. I think, like, the dinosaur-esque ones would probably be less repetitive. Because their front and rear legs are very different. But I haven't built one in a while, so I'm not entirely sure. Alright, 8 and 5. 8. 5. I don't like where that sprue is. That's unpleasant. Sometimes I know it's for structural stuff, but still, it's kind of annoying. It's that one. Is this Irvine's? I can't remember if this is Irvine's. It's got that lone wolf vibe to it, which is very much Irvine. Alright. Which is appropriate because this is Irvine's. Aha! Appreciate it. Yeah, Liger would enjoy this. If it's the Liger that I think you're talking about, I do believe Liger and his community would enjoy this. I appreciate it, though. I have a tendency to ramble by myself if there's nobody else here chatting, so I appreciate it. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. He and I have talked at length about Zoids. I think that's actually one of the things that made us friends. Is Zoids. I don't remember even how it started either. That's like, I'd have to ask him if exactly what caused Zoids to come up. No, I think it is because I saw his name tag at the Twitch Summit, or at Twitch Summit. That's what they've made it lately, but no, at the StJude Summit. Yeah, I completely forgot. I'm like, duh, the name tag. Yeah, of course it was. You know, you'd think I'd have a brain, but apparently I don't some days. But yeah, I went up and I'm like, okay, I gotta ask. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, good. So I feel like I've encountered somebody else with a Zoids-esque name. And because Liger technically isn't just Zoids, because, you know, it's lion and tiger mix, you can't be 100% sure, which is kind of sad. But I really don't like where they put this sprue. It's really probably going to be impossible to see, but they put it right on the tip. Really, not like, why? Why would you do that? That's not a pleasant place to try to fix. Yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna baby that too much because I'm gonna ruin it if I try. This has definitely been, well, no, Gun Sniper was probably pretty rough. Yes, Tomy. Yep, Takata Tomy. You would find those in Toys R Us, mainly. I had about 100 of them. I still have some of them upstairs. But that was my aging myself. Middle school and high school, I collected those religiously. Because that was also kind of the peak of Toonami. And when Zoids was really the most popular. Unfortunately, the boom of anime didn't bring it back because they've gone on their whole thing of 3D animation styles. The shark. It's the hammerhead, right? I have it upstairs. I'm blanking on the name. One of the coolest things, if you're still a big fan of Zoids, go find online. You can buy. You don't think it was a hammerhead? Oh, I think is it the one with the 2 booster packs on the sides? The sand shark. It was like a red one though. I'm trying to think of which red one. Anyways, distracted myself. If you're still a fan of Zoids, go find the art of Zoids. And it's basically a book of all of the cover art for all of the boxes of Zoids. It's so good. I had to buy it. Even if you're not like, you don't have an idea to collect them anymore, it's still super cool. Because it's basically, it's just all of this box art. Not this. Well, no. But this box art. I'm like, this isn't the box art. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, no, I think Zoids kind of fell off when they hopped on the hype trend of 3D style CG. Yeah, they need to come back, but it needs a reboot in the non-CG style. Because believe it or not, I think there's still newer seasons, but they're so detached from what made the original Zoids work. Because I think even after Fusers, there was like 2 or 3 more seasons. I don't remember what the latest one was, but I don't think they ever went back to the art style that made Zoids initially popular. English is hard. And I know, like, Fusers I watched, but Fusers I didn't enjoy a ton. Fusers was weird. It was that hybrid, like, 3D CG kind of stuff, and it just didn't feel like it meshed. And then it also lost, like, what made Zoids feel good with Chaotic Sentry and Guardian Force. Now, I know Zero kind of dipped away from that, but it still felt like good storyline. But the Fusers just didn't catch. But one of the fun things is if you ever find, there was I think a Game Boy Advance game, that you could play that was actually like, it was a whole RPG about Zoids, and it was a lot of fun. I won't, openly say how you would get such a game, but if you know about aquatic animals, you'll probably be able to find your way around. Because it was Japan only? I don't know if it ever released fully in the US. I think it's just been translated, but I don't think it had like a full actual release. Which kind of sucks, because it was a lot of fun. Because there was, I think, one Xbox game? This one, there's really no other choice. I think it's the only way you'd ever get it. I try to avoid it, but certain times there's no options. And it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. 100%. Because you actually get to kind of play with a full arsenal of all the different types of Zoids. And it's actually story-driven. You actually go through battles and things. And it's not like the Xbox one, which felt like a cop-out. Where there's only like 4 or 5 Zoids that you ever got to use, when it really kind of sucked. I purposefully have never played that one because I feel like it would make me sad of what it could have been. And I don't think they've done anything else. Which really sucks, because Zoids has, like, if Titanfall is so popular, Zoids could have just absolutely taken the market. But no. trying to think if there was... Because I think there was actually... In Japan, I think they had kind of like you see... I think... Hey, Rathic. Infusers? That console, like, 3D console that they have in arcades. I think they had that in Japan for a bit. But that I'm only 50% sure of, so... Don't quote me. Because I can't promise that that's true. I may have been hallucinating a dream of where I wished it happened. 100% understand that. I only liked one season of Gundam, and that was G Gundam. G Gundam I enjoyed. Others, eh. But I can 100% understand that logic. And it was, I mean, it's also that Gundam has so many, like, there's too much. It kind of is all over the place. So, no, I get that. I will fully admit, I built Gundam that I have never seen in a show just because it was cool. 86, I have 86 models upstairs. Those are fun. That show is amazing. Can recommend, to an extent, finding those. Yeah. I mean, I'm biased, but ZOIDS is always going to be the best to me. But that's 100% a bias, so... ZOIDS was also kind of the first, like, true mech show that I watched. I did then find G Gundam, which G Gundam I was okay with. Do you mean... I don't fully understand the question. Because I'm listening to ZOIDS background music, so I'm like... I've lost exactly what I was trying to grab. HJG. Okay. I'm paying attention to my own stuff. That's none of that. Oh, yeah. Politics in at least Chaotic Century is very much base war, good guy, bad guy. Which makes it easier to understand and less controversial. So for better or for worse. No, not I. J. Helps if I read. G. Yes. HJG. That's K. Oh. These are J. Hey, Jude, how's it going? But yeah, I would say that's probably what makes ZOIDS work, too, is its base level, like, policy fights of this is a good thing, this is a bad thing, do good, don't do bad. Whereas, yeah, some of the others are definitely a little deeper themes, but sometimes, you know, I just want to watch robots fight. And ZOIDS satisfies that. I'm doing pretty good, Juke. I am happy that I no longer am sick like I had been for 2 months, which was fun. Yeah, I mean, that's really, like, I recommend ZOIDS not... Like, is the Guardian Force Chaotic Century storyline fun? Sure. Is it deep? No. And ZOIDS Zero is even less deep. But, you know, I'm fine with that. Big thing, go boom. I mean, come on, let's be honest. How many people watch Marvel because of stuff like that? Like, it's okay to just be like that sometimes, where it's just big thing, cool, shiny, go, shoot, shoot, boom. I'm happy. Okay, so that still needs G. I'm easily pleased in that field. Like, and they did it without... It's never gory, which I think that's where some kind of lose some people, is the goriness. of some of the other mech style shows. Also, just a note, you'll see stuff for fundraising in the chat. It's more passive fundraising today. You can donate if you want to. There's no requirements. It's not going to do anything except I'll have a smile. So it's up to you. No pressures. But I do think that's probably one of the things that loses some people, like 86, is heavy messaging, little bit more intense. I mean, it's good, but for some people, it's much. But I will say 86 is definitely a solid one. I have not watched Code Geass. Geass, I'm butchering it. I've heard Geese, Geass. Nobody knows what's right anymore. Problem with anime names. Because I think if it was Japanese, it would Geass. If you Americanize it, it's probably going to be Geese or Geass. Or Geass. Whatever. Is that everything? I think that's everything. It's on my eventual lists of to watch, but my eventual list to watch is infinitely longer than I have time. Oh, gold does not like being trimmed, so that's fun. Oh, that's interesting. That kind of makes me think of oh god. Why am I blanking on that one? The one with 02. Why? My god, that's horrible. I am totally blanking. Jeez, that's... Yeah, I watch anime, I swear. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is it's like, depending on who you ask, you'll probably get different answers. But, you know, hey. As long as you can get across what it is, that's all that really matters. Darling in the Bronx. There we go. Yeah. Wow, that's terrible. I even have the manga upstairs. I'm flunking out as an anime person. It's going great. But that whole concept of, like, the dual rider system and things like that. That sounds very Star Wars. Don't get me in trouble, please. How? Hello? This is definitely some of the more interesting setups I've seen for armor. Okay. Tiny foot. This is, like, I've seen, because I've done both Tomy and Kotobukiya, I've done so many of these different, like, layouts of how they do armor and stuff. It always amazes me that they come up with new ones every time. And I'm like, okay, why don't we have a standard way to do this, please? We don't need to reinvent the wheel or the foot every time. Okay, so these are probably front feet, I'm gonna guess. Because they seem... Well, no. I was thinking the back ones seemed bulkier, but... No, maybe not. Who knows? I'm just making things up as I go now. Don't mind me. You all come up here, you stay there. Okay. And as I mentioned last time, if at any point I kind of am just going without, like, showing you something, or you want to see what something looks like, just let me know. I have a habit of just, I'll chat and not realize that I've either moved off screen, or just, like, haven't held it up in a little bit to show what it looks like. So definitely call me out if I start doing that. This setup definitely should help me do that less. Should being the key term. But it's not a guarantee. I still have a penchant to do that. Helps if you put it on the wrong side. The right side. But the more I think about it, I don't, like, ZOIDS is definitely one of the first, I would say, 3 shows that got me into anime. It's really tough whether it was DBZ, Naruto, or ZOIDS. Which I know, what a spread. That would be Toonami for you. That era. Very, very one track, unless you stayed up late and then you got like Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that, which I'd get crucified if I ever truly said this around a large population of anime fans. I've never watched Cowboy Bebop. I watched a couple episodes, never actually paid attention to the whole story, do not know anything much. Sailor Moon's a good one. I don't think I ever fully watched any of the seasons all the way through, because that's the tough thing with, you know, growing up with anime on like Toonami and stuff, is you watched it whenever you could, but it's not a guarantee that you could watch it every night. So it's kind of that, like, I think I saw things. Oh, Tenchi Muyo. Tenchi Muyo. Man. Classic animes that I'm butchering. Yeah, Don't mind me, I'm just suffering over here trying to say basic words. Outlaw Star. That's not even Japanese. And I'm failing at saying it. Don't mind me. I'm gonna be over here struggling my heart out. Yeah. Tenchi. Basically me just butchering names and failing miserably, and yeah. Ignore me. Tenchi I definitely watched some of. I don't think I ever fully got into it to the point where I watched the whole thing on a go-through. Like, nothing personal against Tenchi. I know it's a good show. Just, at that point in my life, didn't catch me. It was one that I would put on whenever it was on. So it earned the record of I never turned it off. It's just not what I would, you know, default to. Alright. Have to focus for a moment because these parts are so tiny. Alright, so that's D11, so let's get 4 levels out of where everything is. 9. Okay. Yeah, I'm just apparently having trouble saying basic names of anime today. That's today's thing. I joke with Penguin, my wife, that every time there's going to be something that just isn't working, and that's today's. Where's... Oh, that confused me. Looking at it upside, and that did not make any sense. If you look at it right side up, would make sense. Alright, so that one, we're good for that. And we need... It's a very flimsy piece. I was very confused as to what I just grabbed. Okay, you go there. Yeah, this sounds like a very Irvine and Moonbay theme. Well, no. Moonbay's would be more upbeat. I can't bring Moonbay down that hard. This is if Moonbay's suffering this song would come on. This is not her choice of song. Alright, when was it? H? G. It's B, let's see. G is cool. G4. Oh, these are interesting. So the one good thing as well about like leg pieces is you just kind of keep clearing out sprues. Because it says do it 4 times and you get to clear out 4 pieces immediately. No worries. I appreciate you hanging out. Have a good one. Enjoy D&D. I can't say enjoy work because that's 50-50. I don't know if anybody enjoys work. Some people probably do. I enjoy the paycheck at the end of work. Don't say I would enjoy work. There are days I wish I could say I do. But it's definitely for the paycheck. I'd be lying if I said anything else. Oh god, this one's gonna be a tiny piece that I feel like I'm gonna send to the moon. D&D is work. Oh, okay. Okay, well, jeez. Color me jealous then. I have not done D&D in forever. Granted, I've said it before. For anybody that's ever interested, I did do D&D a lot when I was in high school. But I was very spoiled. And I think because of how spoiled I was playing D&D, I don't have an interest in doing it again because I had a friend who I've since found works at Evolve now as a character designer. He drew our D&D campaigns and led them and did not use standard D&D style. He kind of adapted it. Oh, that's pretty awesome, though. That's pretty cool. Definitely enjoy that. But I was definitely spoiled because he would draw. Like, it's like, oh, here's the enemy you're going to come up against. It would take 5 minutes and draw it and be like, here, this is what you're fighting. Also, here's the map of the area that you're fighting in. And it's like, oh, God. And knowing now that he is a character designer at Evolve makes so much sense. So, yeah. It's, I was very spoiled. And I also loved that he didn't do, like, we would do normal D&D in the sense of, like, you control a character and that's what you play. But occasionally he would really step out of the mold. Have a good one. Enjoy. I can say enjoy now that I know that work and play is the same. But he would also do D&D where it was Civilization Sim. And basically, you would design a civilization. And that, like, it was like diplomacy, where all of you had different civilizations. And he was very good at, like, you would come up with something. And that would kind of help balance things. Of, like, if you came up with something, you obviously couldn't let it be too profound. Also, the little boy is over here. You can see Casper. Hi. He has been here in this nest the entire time. Oh, please don't go scatter everything. Be nice. So yeah, Casper's been there the entire time. He's now decided that he's done. I was too loud for him. And I will say, like, one of the proudest setups I ever did was I made a civilization. It was a robotic civilization that lived in asteroids, and they would travel in the asteroids. Because they would use, basically, they would consistently, and now was this physics approved? Probably not, but it was cool. And it got past his check. And they would basically have a civilization in the asteroids so that they could get close to things. But it also was their supply of building material because they kept a core of lava. And so that was also their weapons, is lava, magma. Lava, because magma's inside. Well, technically, I guess in the core of a planet, it would be magma, wouldn't it? But it made for a very fun play. Because it would always be that they could kind of just come and go as they pleased, because it would be like a random asteroid belt has, you know, kind of wandered through your system. And it would just be if anybody paid attention. It was a very fun, unique solution that I had for playing the game. And it definitely made things interesting whenever it was time to do diplomacy and war. So, yeah, that's why I don't ever do D&D anymore, as I was very, very spoiled in the times that I played, because literally every encounter, every enemy, everything was drawn. Like, he would draw our characters for us. He would draw every map, and it was like in such ridiculous detail. It felt unfair. Are you gonna? Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So, it definitely, it spoiled me ever wanting to do D&D like the normal way, because having somebody who's now a character designer at a major game company, you don't top that. Like, how do you top that? So if there's ever a time that I can figure that out and top that, maybe. But I don't see that being an easy pull. I did not realize at the time how lucky I was with my play of D&D. But it was cool. It was very unique. Alright. So now we need B1. I have not seen him in forever, though. Ever since I moved away from New England. Not seen him. But it was good to know he's doing good. He definitely went through some rough times for a while. So, good to see he landed on his feet. And is doing far better than I am, I would guess, if you're working at a very large game company. Though nowadays, unfortunately, I'm sure it's the constant fight of, you know, being an asset person at a company is less than pleasant in job security at this time. But maybe he's at a company that's doing the good fight. Alright, and then D. 32, 33. Okay. $32. Or not, it's 33. 33. This is why this is tedious. It's the same piece. Over. And over. And I apologize if I ever punched the mic on you guys. Sorry. Not intentional. Alright. One. This one I have to focus on, otherwise I'm going to send these flying. Alright. I think that's everything. Now they just all have to be sanded and assembled. And hope that I didn't do too bad of a job of cutting them out, so I can basically leave them alone. This sounds like a Frozen theme. 10 points if you know who that is. The tough thing with streaming and getting into small pieces of a build is it's like, I want to focus and make sure I'm doing it correctly, but I also want to make sure that I'm not just ignoring chat and, like, not talking. Oh, don't apologize. You do not have to apologize for something like that. I appreciate literally anybody taking a minute out of their day to come hang out. That's always how I've been with streaming, is the fact that people actually want to come chill and hang out is still astounding to me. And I've been doing this for almost 10 years. Thinking about it, I'm actually 7 months away from... No, 6 months away from 10 years. That's weird. I don't know how I feel about that. It's definitely a daunting thought that I've been doing this for almost 10 years. Many interesting things that I've gotten to do from this. I'm happy that I never made it like, this is my goal, that I want to be like full-time streamer, because especially with how the landscape changed of streaming, I just... Unfortunately, we live in a world where the streamers doing questionable things that nearly get you banned are the ones that are succeeding, so... I do love it. Somebody was interviewed that kind of is near the top of Twitch, and they're like, you know, why do you do these things? Like, you don't have to. And they're like, well, if I did good, people wouldn't watch me. And it's like, that's a sad truth. The people that want to do good things and wholesome content and things like that, people don't watch them. So unfortunately, live content incentivizes not doing great things. And that is where we are with social media. I'm not going to dive too deep into that rabbit hole, though, because that'll make me sad. It has been interesting doing this for, like, almost 10 years and watching the change of, like, Twitch and live streaming. There has been so much change. Like, I remember when I first started on Twitch. When I first started on Twitch, this would be like an outlier thing. Like, you wouldn't see people doing, like, model building much. Because gaming was just kind of what was expected. But, boy, how times have changed. Now, sometimes gaming is the rarity. Alright. So now we take these two small pieces, put them together to reveal the really bad cutting and sanding job I did. It's great. Don't you love when that happens? Colors for this one definitely lend itself to being a little bit rougher on the cut spots. Yeah, back to that comment, Rathic. I would love to drop social media, but I feel like doing the stuff that I do, I can't. Like, it's just, if I want things like K4K and charity season to succeed, it's like, you have to. You have to stay on. And I don't like that answer, but it definitely seems to be the case. Okay. Not entirely sure how this works just yet. You came back, Casper? I figure this is one that I can show you once it makes a little bit more sense what this looks like. Because I'm not entirely sure what I'm making yet. So I can't really explain what I would show you. Because I don't know. I mean, I always like when things are coming together and you can kind of tell that stuff is happening. But I don't exactly know what these are. Casper, you look like you're wandering to get yourself in trouble, bud. Alright. Nope, get back here. Alright. So, obviously it's a part of the leg. I have no idea what. But it's a part of the leg. Okay. Is this Death Sword music? No, don't. No. Don't be a jerk. Go back to your nest. Don't go stompy over all of this. You butt. You thought about it. Okay, so now we're going to do separate pieces. Yeah, that's Casper for you. He very much thinks he's helping. Okay, 14. Casper is very mischievous. He likes to pretend that he's just this, you know, innocent cat. And it's like, no. You are anything but. Now he's just chilling his nest over there. It's one of the best things I ever got him, because he loves just chilling out there. Penguin has a suspended one on her desk, and they both love that. This is definitely the more hotly contested one on my desk. Possibly because I'm down here more than Penguin is. But partially because I think Casper claimed that one first. And Nyx is trying to be respectful. Key term, trying. Okay. That's interesting. Alright. D10. Now it feels like we're in Jurassic Park. And I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. And then we need this again, and PCB. So this looks like we're actually going to start building individual legs now, which probably means we're going to get larger pieces going for the most part. This is where you go from working on tiny pieces to all of a sudden making large progress, and it's like, oh, I was not prepared for this. I did not trim this one well at all. That's unfortunate. I was able to save it. Alright, you... Oh, God. That goes there. That goes there. Okay. We have an enclosed something. Progress. Alright, now... Okay, we did get rid of 1J. Very sad, heroic music. And then lots of D. This is D17. Okay, tiny little piece. D17. D18. Oh, goody. Smaller piece. Oh, nope. Ooh, that scared me. And then D30. I thought I hit the wrong nut. That made me very nervous. Did you break free, or is that just a suspension piece? No, you broke free. How did you do that? I didn't cut that piece. And then I think it was G, which is gold? Well, that's appropriate. G is gold. Which is ironic because in... Well, no, I guess technically it would still be G because it's... Ginito. Right? So I think Kinito is silver, Ginito is gold? If I remember right? Could be butchering that. I guess that would track. I don't know if there's any actual rhyme or reason to how or why they name things what they do, like the runners and which letters they use for which runner. For all I know, it's literally just luck of the draw that G ended up as gold. So, who knows? I'm not going to put too much stock in that, because it is what it is. Yeah, how did you... Did you just not actually mold to your runner? That's weird. I don't see any spot where the sprue would have been connected. Hey, works for me. Looks better. Alright, cool. You secure things there. You come over and secure this. You go through here. That's interesting. So it's like a fake one. And then you go here. So a little bit more structure to it. Okay. And then we need B. B is over here. B11. It didn't say 2 times this, so I'm hoping that I wasn't supposed to do 2 times this. Otherwise, that's going to be annoying, because then I have to go back through and do all these steps again. Which maybe I will have to, and it's just going to pretend like it's a new step, and it's not. That's happened before. Alright, so this... That goes there. And then step 21. Okay, I see. now we have that. Where are we going from here? Okay, I do think we're gonna slow build these, but watch me get that wrong. Alright, so we're back to B. B6? Yes. I always forget how much doing models ruins my fingers. They get so bad. N and B2. Alright, how... not great, not bad. Great, not bad. That one, less than ideal. That one came off really nice. That came off really badly. And that still has a little bit of height to it. Definitely not my finest doing. Okay, I was able to save that one a little bit. I thought I had ruined that for a second. Thankfully, I didn't. Alright, take this. This piece, this piece. Seeing the, trailer behind me, I guess. Well, I don't even know if I'd call it a trailer. It's, openings. There we go. Alright, lock that in. Yeah, that was not... I'm just gonna call that battle damage. We're gonna go with that. That's what we're saying. Alright, so J... Woo! Oh, another one. Okay. Another J. And then B's. Okay. So we're going to slowly start clearing out the B spruce, which will be nice. It's that rewarding feeling when you kind of start slowly finishing off a sprue. If you've never built models before, don't throw away your sprues until you're absolutely certain you have double-checked that there is nothing left on it, because, boy, let me tell you, I have thrown away a sprue only to realize that I left a very critical piece on it, and that does not go well. You will find out very quickly. That much I can tell you. And if you don't, like, I always keep mine in the box. As soon as I finish a sprue, it goes in the box behind me, so I can be sure that I'm not missing anything. It's definitely, like, that's where you almost need the Gundams with the different levels of grade, so you can kind of slowly move into the higher levels. Because that's the one thing is, like, with Zoids, there's no levels of grades. It's all just kind of the same. It's just how many pieces, not the complexity of the build. That's definitely a perk of the Gundam series, is they have different levels of complexity. Okay. There we go. That goes there. Ah. Okay. Slowly getting more color. Then we need G. G1. Is it the perfect grade? Is that the one you're talking about? Because that's one of the few model sets that legitimately intimidates me. Oh, they are. They're hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. Not many models intimidate me. Those do. It's a leg. Alright. We go again. Leg 2. Okay. Go back to C's. 13 and 3. Oh. From what I've heard, though, the build quality of them is substantial. Like, I know if you paid for good money on a Kotobukiya kit, the claws on the Zoids would be metal. It's cool. Very, very unique. Made it feel that little bit more premium. Because it had some heft to it. I have a couple of the models that have metal claws. And it's a really nice little touch. It's like, it's not that big a deal, but it's cool. So I can only imagine on perfect grade, there's probably some stuff like that. Okay, there's that. Okay. So we're going to do the same but opposite side. So it's the same thing, just reversed in a sense. And the PCB. But that was, yeah, it's one of the few models that I'm like, I don't really have any knowledge of that series that would get something into perfect grade, because I haven't watched that level of Gundam. It's the capsule for the judge. But I would still build it, because that's just a cool experience. But I don't want to shell out the money to screw it up. I would build master grade, or perfect grade. If it was given to me. I don't think I would buy it. I'd be too afraid. Legitimately. Okay. Yeah, I think perfect is the top level. Master grade. Well, no, I'm not going to pretend like I know. I'm just pulling things out when I'm not 100% sure. That's a terrible idea. Have somebody in here that knows better and call me out. But I thought master grade or like perfect master or something. I don't know. The very extravagant sounding title. Hina. You could, Rathic. I don't know if I'd go that route. How you doing, Hina? Did that work? Because I don't know if these lights behind me are actually responding. I'll be honest. It worked, okay. Because I have extra lights on, it's not as potent, so I'm not 100% sure what works and what doesn't right now. I will be fully transparent in that. How you doing, Hina? And then D30. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know if that didn't mold or if that's just how that one's designed. It's still... No, it's 10. That one doesn't have it. This one has it. Hopefully next week I'll start getting back on the bike, but I will not be doing cycling streams for a while. Undetermined when that will be back. Are you having fun, Hina? Purposefully have lights on so I can actually see my own stuff, because as much as I would love to, you know, accidentally cut myself when a thunderstorm goes off, I feel like that's probably a bad idea. I just feel like you're experimenting with things. Alright, here. Here. Nope. Yes. Wrong side. There we go. Just being a punk. Just remembered it was the weekend. Man. It's kind of week it's been. Alright. Leg piece. Start of number 2. Alright, then we need B11. Probably will be... I don't know. That's just universal. And then 21. I really did not remember how much, like, funky jazz there was in ZOIDS. That is definitely something that has caught me off guard by listening to the OST. I mean, not complaining, it's just... definitely different than a lot of other shows. Alright. So this... this. Okay. Start of another one. Onwards. Alright. Is this the one that has what I need, or is it the other one? 6 and 10 is probably going to be this one. Yes. Six and 10. I've gone slightly quiet because I'm focused. I'm realizing how much I'm not doing an amazing job on cutting all of these out and killing me. That one's really finicky. I cannot get that one right. But some of these darker colors just aren't really conducive to cutting correctly. They're leaving too much shear marks. And when it's like a dark grayish blue, that shear mark is very, very noticeable. Why I'm trying to get as much off of it as I can, but I always just go with the logic that if it shows up, it's battle damage. My best description for it. Now, why is the battle damage kind of all over the place? Highly inconsistent. Doesn't make sense. We're not going to talk about it. Alright, so now we have this. This. No, stay. I like how Casper's just been out for this entire time. He walked around once and then just doesn't care. Alright. 9 and 5. Never thought I'd have a model building buddy. He is quite content over there, though. I'll take it. Means he's not interrupting me. No, okay, I thought he was giving me side-eye, but he's not. He is that out that his eyes are just like that slight bit open that makes you think that they're awake, but they're definitely not. Alright. Yeah, this one we're going with battle damaged. That one... This one is not playing nice. Okay. It's my executive decision on this. I really don't know, like, because I don't know how to fix this better for when they create these. I mean, part of it is obviously trying to hide the sprue location a little bit better, but like, it's the tough thing with like a plastic base is when you cut it, if it's not a perfectly clean cut, it shears, and that shear causes discoloration. Alright. Take this, put this here. There we go. Was not settling for a moment. Take this. This goes there. And we have more. I think we have one last part for this, which is the gold plate. Okay. And then we add a foot to it. I think it'll be the same foot. I don't think I want to file gold, because if I remember right, gold was a bit nasty. Kind of discolored a little bit too much when I tried to shave it, so we're just going to leave it. When is it? It's 20. Oh, okay. I see. That makes sense. You want to use this one because then the feet will be toes opposite. That makes sense. Okay, I see. That's what we were doing, is we were doing toes so that they were the appropriate side. That makes more sense. Alright. Start again. I'll move on to F. 9 and 14. It is one of the really fun things is when you start kind of figuring out exactly why things are when you're building them. Oh, okay. 9 and 14, those are opposite. That's weird. Usually they do them kind of down the row. It's like, normally it would be here, but it's weird. Very abnormal. D15. So I'm going to assume these are going to be hind legs. 16. I was to guess. That would be my guess. D1. Oh, that thing looks horribly tiny. Oh. Why have you done this to me? Okay. 15, 16, 27.
It's just creeping.
Casper does not care. He is content.
See what you mean. How he lays.
Yep. He is a content little kitten.
Yeah.
Did you?
He has gotten up once this stream, and then went and laid back down.
He's like, no. I gotta be.
Casper is very content in his ways. Casper moves for no one.
Just for no one, and he only uses what energy he has to.
Yep.
Does not expend more than necessary.
It's like, yeah, what's the point? That I wish you could see Casper. He is absolute a ham right now.
He's like, I'm in my couch.
He is very much in the I don't care that a human just got home. I'm comfortable. Acknowledging otherwise would mean getting up, and I'm not doing that. Whereas the other two... No, I was going to say cats. Well, one of them kind of is a cat. Can't fathom not greeting a human when they come home.
Pretty sure Turner taught me that.
I think he did. Casper does not care. If there happens to be a reason, he will greet someone at the door. Like if it's fresh bag day of their food,
Oh god.
he will greet you. Partially to go fill his bowl.
Fresh bag.
But he does not deem it necessary to meet you at the door. It's not a thing that Casper cares about. You do hear a penguin juke.
Hello. Yes, I'm not wearing anything, so.
I hope you're wearing something.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, your current job doesn't require you to be branded.
How's it going?
Eh.
Oi! Oi! Ow! Ow! Hey, come poke.
He's like, don't.
Gently poke.
He's like, don't. Oh, she has disturbed the Casper. She has disturbed the Casper.
On his own.
He's like, there's too many people around here. This is not sanctuary anymore. He does not like when people ruin sanctuary.
Oh god. Tackled by his brother.
Oh.
Nix came flying up and
Hi, Nix.
ran into his belly.
Yeah, this is what happens when Penguin comes home. Penguin brings everybody. Kind of her thing.
Yeah, and I must.
Turner's down there on the floor with his safety toy.
Doing his butt stretch.
So hardly.
They would lead you to believe that.
We'll go though. Casper is not purred, so we are.
You're intruding. It's not happy, I told you. He got up purely because too many people were around him.
Yeah, we got tail flicks. I'm out of here. I'm being dismissed.
Oh, buddy. Casper has such a personality. I think he very much got up because people were ruining his comfort, because Casper is right there. Nix is here. Because Nix likes to disturb Casper when Casper seems at his most comfortable. And then he'll, eventually just wander off. Now we're just left with Nix, who probably is going to go sprint after his big bro soon. Because, yep, there he goes. I was going to say, he's not going to stay here. He doesn't have any interest in this. He's after his big bro. That's all he cares about. Big bro is life to him. Alright, D29. Nix is kind of like a duckling. He imprinted on Casper so fast. I've never seen a cat do that before. But he decided Casper was his big bro, and nobody was going to tell him otherwise. That's it. It was adorable. Casper didn't know how to feel about this for a longest time. I think he's more accepted it now. Sometimes grudgingly. But occasionally it does provide a defense against Pup. So. Because there are times when Casper's like, I'm not dealing with you right now. And Nix will take the burden. Okay. go. Now we're back to B. It is B4 and 8. Okay. Okay, that's it for B. Then D25. D24. Convenient. Okay, and then G5. I do love the touch of the gold pieces. Like, when they do this where it's kind of like these nice little flashes of color, it is pretty cool. Can be a pain, but it is pretty cool. Alright. Excuse me. That one didn't come out too bad. Not finest work, but not enough for me to go in with a file and ruin the color. That one I did not do well. I thought there was one that I kind of didn't nail. Yeah, not that one either. This one, I just missed on many fronts. That's unfortunate. Yep, that one's not great. Yeah, 3 for 3 on this one. This feels very Moonbash. That's good enough. Alright, take a look at this one. Eh. Could be worse. And I think this is more of an internal piece, so it should be fine. Shouldn't show anything. That's acceptable. That's acceptable. I don't think I'd ever be comfortable showing my work to somebody that builds these much more consistently than I do, because that I don't think I'd be confident for. Well, that's why I don't do that, so. Alright, so this is like this. This goes here. Where do you go? Alright, you go there. And then through... Ah. Make sure I'm doing this to the correct direction. Because, don't want to undo this again, please. This, then... goes here. Okay. And then we'll get this on. Okay. So this is the first back leg. So, and it looks like this has a kind of a pivoting piece there. It looks like it can kind of disappear, which is interesting. Alright. Now we need 11 again. Yeah, so 11 is B11 is universal. Seems like everything uses that. And then 21, so we need another one of these. And then G2. I would be so interested to, like, just sit in on one of the engineering discussions for one of these to figure out, because I'm sure there's a level of trying to minimize unique pieces, because the more unique pieces you have, the more sprues you need, the more plastic modeling and engineering you need. Like, that's gotta be intense. That's a lot of thought process and work into that. Oh, this is the no future instrumental. Okay. Alright. So now this. And this. And then this. Oh. Upside down. Okay. And then we're going to do more armoring. Okay. And we're almost to the last leg. Almost to the last leg. D2. Another tiny piece. Okay, and then these. B3 and 7. Apologize for, like, the interesting conversation kind of dropped off. I'm just like, you get into focus mode, and it's like, oh, right, I was doing that. Such a good streamer. Is that 12? Yeah, okay, I thought it was 2. So I kind of, like, end up distracting myself from my own topics. Like, oh, that's good. That's good streamer. Good streamer behavior. Completely forget to, you know, have actual conversation. And just continue reading out the exact pieces that you're trimming off of the, sprues. Very engaging. But when you get to, like, the monotony of the legs, it's like, ugh. You kind of just... You want it to be more like Lego at a point where you're like, I don't want to cut them off anymore, I just want to build it. The tough thing about streaming it is you can't zone as much as I normally would. Because normally when I'm building something like this, I would kind of, if I'm not streaming, I would kind of zone out. And just kind of, during the cutting and sanding, do a little bit less, like, focus. Whereas right now, it's like you have to have split focus. I have to... Well, I don't have to. But I try to be at least somewhat engaging, which usually ends up failing miserably. But, you know, hey. That's just normal for me. Alright. So this piece, where did... No, this tiny little thing. Where? What? What are you? That's weird. I don't even know what that is. Alright. Okay. So this... Okay, now I have to figure out how this attaches, so this is going to take me a moment. Okay, I think like that. Okay, so that is correct. There we go. Alright. That took a little bit more. That was a little confusing. Alright, and then 19 is this side. And then... 4 of these. And we'll be on to the last of the legs. I love how it says it's instrumental, but there's definitely talking. Which I feel like is counterintuitive to instrumental. I feel like you're not supposed to talk in an instrumental. At least that's my understanding of an instrumental. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. That's that leg. Alright. Last leg. Good thing is, it should be pretty straightforward of which ones I'm cutting now. Same pieces I've cut 3 other times, and there's no others anymore. Okay, there's that. Need this. Put this together first so I don't lose track of everything. Geo Snyder, okay. I don't remember Geo Snyder having such heroic music, but then it's all covered by the tech noises of all the changes and everything, so... But it would make sense that it would be pretty heroic. Schneider... I don't think it's my favorite, though. I feel like my favorite is probably... Well... I'm gonna be honest to myself. I love Panzer, but I think my original first favorite was Jaeger. Which I think Panzer is most people's favorite just because it's ridiculous. Okay, 23. If I was to hazard a guess, I would say most people would probably pick Panzer. It's just the overwhelming force. That thing comes out and you're just like, oh. 15. Kind of the resounding reaction to Panzer. Yeah, exactly. Big boom. And I mean, it is pretty iconic when it shoots the one attack it can do, basically, and has to shed all of its armor to avoid overheating and it's basically exploding. So that's pretty interesting trait that they've given it. Not many series give you a one-and-done attack. Blue is Jaeger, which is speed. Orange is Schneider, which is the 7 blades. I have all 3 of them upstairs in model form. I think Schneider is the Tomy models. Panzer is the Kotobukiya. For people who aren't aware what that means, basically the old Tomy model kits were the ones with the with the motors in them. The Kotobukiya ones do not have motors in them. Which I personally prefer the non-motorized now. That's fine. Basically, it's who produced them. They're 2 companies, and it just determines kind of how they were made. This is Kotobukiya, which means it doesn't have a motor in it. Tomy was the more Americanized one initially. Had motors and was a little bit bulkier. A little bit more play-oriented, but they weren't posable. You couldn't really do much with it, which is why it wasn't a huge fan favorite. Because it was locked in place. Like, you built it, and that's its pose. It doesn't do anything. Except for it has a motor, so it can run. But that was janky, at best, if I'm honest. The coolest one was if you bought the Death Stinger. The Death Stinger could actually be plugged in with a remote, where its battery pack was, and you could actually slightly control its direction and speed. Still janky. But that was also something that came out, like, super early 2000s. So, kind of high-tech by those standards. Okay, there's that, and then PCB here. Alright. This goes there. This goes there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Hina. At the time, it was cool because we didn't know what we couldn't have. Because of the motors. And then once you find out what you lost because of the motors, it kind of was sad. Oh, I put that on the wrong side. That's why. The motors definitely removed the... Like, it kind of took it away from being an action figure. There we go. Alright, and then you... Yep. Get back in there. So, they were cool because what we had... That's fair. They were cool for what we had, but once I kind of found out that Kotobukiya existed, I'm like, oh. Why did we give that up? That's sad. G3, D29. But I think it was also, that made Tomy a little bit more accessible because the model kits were a little bit more basic. So I get both sides of it. But I definitely prefer this model kit over the other one. I don't know how I was failing that so miserably. That was weird. But I'm not going to complain because it was a model kit, so it's better than not having anything. All right. B4 and 8. So I'll be happy with what I had. I had a model kit, but you definitely find out that we kind of definitely got the Americanized version of the toy. They didn't trust us with harder steps. D24. $24, and then 25. Keep beating you guys with this, sorry. And then gold. That's 6. This one is 5. Again, apparently you guys did something to deserve it. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Alright. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm very happy to be finished with the legs soon. Because by the 4th leg, you're very much just like, I'm done. Stop. Stop doing this. I don't want to do this for a 4th time. I know where the next step is going. Complete series of what? PCB. Secret 5th. No. No, please don't. Which series? Because there's Chaotic Century, Guardian Force, 0, Fusers. I don't recommend anything beyond 0. I'll be honest, Guardian Force, Chaotic Sentry, and Zero are all that exists in my mind. Like this. This. No, we don't. I don't agree that those exist. That's all there is. Is that not everybody's opinion? Sure, it's mine. So Chaotic Sentry would be with Zeke, the Organoid. Guardian Force technically is called Chaotic Sentry, but it's the second season of Chaotic Sentry. So if you're familiar with that Zoid, that would be Chaotic Sentry or Guardian Force. Blade Liger. Zero is what has Liger Zero. Hence Zero. Or New Century Zero is actually what it's called, but I just call it Zero. Yeah, the big tournament is Zero. Where you get backdraft and stuff like that. That's Zero. Chaotic Sentry is with the War. G2. Alright. So this is getting close to the end of this one. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, for both of them, it's very consequential to get to the final. Because they both have key plots. Guardian Force, I do believe, is my favorite, though. That's my pick. So we're going to do this. This. And then... yeah. Oh no. That's bad luck. Alright. Final 2 steps. Really, there's only one consequential step left of this. Which one of you has this annoying little piece? You. So that's going to be for the gun, most likely. This is going to be for this one. And, I mean, if anybody pays attention to my alt account, you will understand where that username comes from. No. That's so unfortunate. You definitely had a cursed anime life. That's super unfortunate. Is that all of you? That is all of you. Alright. This sounds so similar. You, I don't like how proud you are. Try to get rid of some of that. I'm sure. That definitely seems like something that is critical for you. Because, like, consistently missing the biggest piece, that's so frustrating. I think I would kick something. Yeah, it's really shocking me of how much jazz and such there is in ZOIDS. It's like you know, I always knew with like Moonbase Waltz and stuff like that, there was that kind of like classical motif, but I didn't realize it was this much. Especially not in Zero. Very interesting. I mean, it's great to come back and realize that I definitely missed this. Alright, so now... this... and then... this... that... ah, classic song. It fell off. Good. Classic Zoids. Oh. How did I do this last time and not this time? Oh, there it goes. That's how. You actually pay attention. Figure out what you're doing with it. Blasphemy. Blasphemy. No such thing. No, there was definitely bad episodes. I'm not going to pretend that there were not. Or, I should say episodes I enjoyed less. Most of those came in fusers. I liked the concept, I just wish the animation was so much better. Their choices on some of those were just bizarre. I don't know why they did some of the things that they did with fusers. That was... I don't know many people. Alright, so that's... No! I had them all balanced. It was great. No. Okay, well, fine. We're just gonna... There we go. Yep. Alright. Home stretch. Home stretch. H is over here. H. I mean, Avatar does tend to kind of blend together. I would not criticize anybody who feels that. Remind me, is the Great Divide the one with the two opposing clans and the ants? Was that Great Divide? Hey. He's up here. Okay. Thought so. See, I don't understand their whole pivot that Magic is doing. It's weird. I feel like they're diluting their IP too much. It's a little odd, in my opinion. But I'm not a Magic card collector, so... I'm not really a good judge. I mean, that's really all it is money. They were running out of ideas, and so why not just take other people's that already exists and just make a card on it? Alrighty. Getting there. That's like I was on a call with... That just reminded myself. I was on a call with one of my coworkers the other day. And, oh my god. I picked up on their tick of the word that they keep saying over and over. It started to drive me up a wall. I could not handle it. It just... It was so bad. it was like that glass shattering moment when you realize and you're like, oh no. Please don't. Oh god. Nope. No. Stay. This is either Prosen or Death Sore. That much I am fairly certain about. That stands out. Oh. Put them together and then put them in. Duh. No! Come back here. Okay, gun barrel. I mean, it was literally, they would say the same word or the same phrase every 5 seconds. It was kind of their version of but it was so noticeable that I couldn't. It was so like, I just sitting there going, stop. Stop. I can't. My brain has discovered your tick and it's killing me. Because is just kind of something that people phase out in their brain. Like, it's not that... Everybody does it, so it kind of gets filtered out. But as soon as you hear a vocal stem that's not the same, it just was like, oh god. And the killer is, they had to talk for a long period, and I'm like, oh boy. Oh, I can't. Alright. 11, 12. It's these little things. You have fun with that. I'm not envious of you. I'm sorry, and I hope it goes well. All I have for that. I am actually getting fairly close, so I don't anticipate much longer. Because we're on to the gun, which I believe is the last piece. I'm so happy I found these little sanding files because I hate the feeling of sandpaper. Which is very unfortunate when you like building model kits, because sanding's kind of a fact of life when you're building these things, because it's not always going to be perfect. And these things are very high grit, very soft, and so it does not bother me as much as normal. And that's great. Boy, do I hate the feeling of sandpaper. Okay, and then it's these F1 and 2. I did not clip that one well. We'll just do that one high. That one. And fix it in post. Not well, fix it in post. That's great. Good job, me. There we go. Alright. Now I can put things together. So this... I'm trying to understand these when it does this to me. That goes there. That goes there. Really good. Come back here. That's there. Okay. Oh, now we need to go get this tiny little thing. This piece that I'm gonna absolutely send to the moon and forget where it is. You stay there. I don't need you going away on me. F. F is here. Is this 6? Yes, this is 6. Figure I'm not really gonna show this off until majority gets done, you can kind of see pieces as I do them, but this is one that it's all going to the same thing, so it doesn't really make too much sense to show it first. There we go. Alright, that actually worked pretty well. I'm kind of shocked. That goes there. Good, good. And then we take 31, 5. And then G9. Okay. Didn't get that one well. That's late in the game of a stream. That's par for course. Think that I would do these for like 4 hours at a time and still somehow be semi-competent at the end of that. I don't know how. Then again, my mind is divided in like 10 different directions right now, so that's probably part of it. Alright, you... go... here? Yep, yes. Oh. Not like that. Read the instructions. That's helpful. Only it told me which direction to put things. No. There we go. Alright. Then the other side. Hey, look, I know how this one works now. It's amazing when you actually pay attention to the instructions and it kind of tells you exactly how to do it. Who'da thunk? Alright. We're getting very close to the end of the sprues. Alright, and then this one... oh, this is interesting. It's a different shape. So you don't get them confused. Like a certain someone. AKA me. Okay. And then this gets attached to this. And then I'm gonna guess that we'll build the shroud around it next. Okay, F12. I don't like how chunky that sprue is. 12. 4. Yep. 5. Oh, there you are. Staring right at it. And then D. 19. Is that all of that sprue? Yes. And then that should be the last one on this sprue. Okay. We're getting there. Those seem acceptable. It's kind of where I'm at right now. Is they've made some interesting decisions on some of these locations for sprues. And this one was just very thick, which is weird. Not had one hit at an angle like that and be that thick. No, don't put me to sleep. Jeez. Music is too chill. More hype. This makes me think of like the Oceanside and like Harvest Moon or something. Okay. So take this, put these on the back. Then we take this. Very good. Checking things. Hold. Okay, that goes there. This goes there. Okay, that makes sense. All right, last pieces. F3. And then 8. Yes. And 11. Is that sprue? Yay. And then PCI. And that is that sprue. Okay, and I see one sprue left with stuff on it, so that tracks. We're in the right levels right now. I remember this song from the show. This one I'm very familiar with. Okay. And not happy with that one. There we go. That's better. I'm now in like focus mode because I can see the end. We're about to get to the really rewarding part. Okay. Now we take this. This one, we take this. Put that there. I figured this one out. This is going to take a second. Ah, helps if you have it in the right direction. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. Oop. That was not supposed to happen. Nope. You get back in there. I think we got it right. So then we get the last two pieces. And this is the armor shell for it. Because it needs color. Because it's too gray. And that's that one done. I don't know why there was a clear version of all of the acrylic pieces. Very weird. And it didn't, like, I'm glad I picked the orange right away, because orange is typically what I associate with, you know, cockpit glass and stuff like that, but I don't know why is clear, like, it's unpiloted in the sense of, like, it doesn't have an owner? No. So you can see even in the promo art that is here, it's orange. So I can't think of what clear would be. It's the only thing I can think of is it's, like, uncommandeered. Like, that's if it was wild or something. But I don't know. I don't have that lore. There's possibly an explanation here in Japanese somewhere, but that's a lot of effort. Okay. It was a military prototype. Because in Zero, I think it was... I'm trying to remember if it was Zero or Chaotic Sentry that it was solo. In one it's solo, and one it's a military Zoid. I think in Chaotic Sentry it's military. I think. I'm not 100% on that, though. Because it shows up in both series, which is also one of the reasons I loved it. Go. So that works. Oop, nope. Go back in your home. How did you come out? Oh god. Okay, you guys... I'm gonna need you to stay. Stay in there. I don't like the ball joint that they have chosen for this. No, there we go. Alright. There you go. His neck is so thin. But that is Shadow Fox. And I am very happy with that one. Because that is one of my all-time favorite Zoids. Without a shadow of a doubt. I definitely... It's up there as one of my favorites. The favorite? Don't know. Definitely top 3. I'd have to spend some time thinking of what I would truly consider, like, favorite. I don't know. But it is finished. Very pretty. It's an interesting one. It was definitely had some interesting steps. And I don't like the ball joints in the feet because they've already popped out twice, which feels a little bit weaker than I would expect. But there you go. It matches. But yeah. Right about when I wanted to finish too. So I appreciate everybody for joining. That is one of the charity incentives done, is I promised I would build Shadow Fox on stream for you. I will probably take pictures at some point this weekend and put them up so everybody can see them that wants to. Hopefully you enjoyed the layout we have here with the Zoids music, the Zoids in the background, all that fun stuff. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with Are We There Yet? In 25 hours. So 1 hour from now tomorrow. So that makes total sense. So don't forget about that. There will be 4 of us playing that with crowd control on for a last hurrah. And that'll be it for charity season. So last chance to get whatever you want. And yeah. So thank you all. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm happy to have it done. I've been sitting on this one for a little over a month, and it's very difficult for me to have a Zoid in a box and not build it. So happy. But yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I will see you next time. Bye.